Let's go!
そりゃ本当かよ
Holy crap, seriously?
そりゃ知らなか
I
った
did
ぜ
not know that.
バカ声が大きいぜ
Get down, dumbass.
マリアが起
You
きちゃう
wake Maria up. Valor was so surprised that he yelled obnoxiously and scattered his cards everywhere. His voice caused Maria to turn over once, but she soon fell back into a deep, deep sleep. Jessica gave him a jab and he lowered his voice.
あ、いや、しかし言われてみれば確かにそれっぽい雰
No,
囲気
but
はあった
yeah, now that you said it, they really did have that kind of atmosphere, didn't they? Now I see.
ジョージの兄
George
貴がな
George could not be seen anywhere in the room. A short while ago, when Shannon had come into the room, George suddenly said that he had forgotten something he mentioned and needed to go back and get it. Shannon had said she would guide him, just like she had on the way to the guest house, and the two had them departed.
いや
They've been showing signs of it for a long time, you know?
好きなものを聞いてきて
Asking what the other person liked, asking what their hobbies were. Asking what... I always knew it was too much to just be a passing interest.
そういや昔からジ
Just
ョー
think
ジ
of it,
の
I
兄
get the
貴
feeling
は
that George Aniki
シャノンちゃんにやたら
has
と
always
優し
been
かった
overly
気が
nice
する
to
ぜ
Shannon-chan.
なるほどな
Now I... Going to the weather, it looks like it will be worse. It will be at its worst
明
tonight.
日いっぱいもやまないら
It
しい
won't
けど
stop,
もう少
it
し
won't stop all
マシ
tomorrow,
に
but
な
it
る
should
そう
get a
だ
little
よ
better.
そうですか
Oh, really?
では
Then the
明
back
後日まで
rolling
は
out right into the
船
day
は来られ
after
ないかも
tomorrow.
しれませんねジョージ様の月曜日のお勤めに
I
差
might
し
have
支えが出
interfered
ない
with
か
work
心
on
配で
Monday.
す
台風が来ていることは
I knew that typhoon would be coming beforehand.
万一に備えて
Just in case to make sure that I didn't have any plans for Monday, so it's all right.
大丈夫さこう見えてもスケジュールは先読みできるタ
It
イ
may
プな
not
ん
look
だ
like, but I'm really the type who can plan ahead in the schedule. George put out his chest, acting proud. Compared to the normally composed appearance that George always had as the oldest cousin, he now looked amusingly like a little kid. Shannon chuckled at this gap. Gap boy?
さすがやがては
I
会
said
社を
someone
起こ
who
され
should
る
make his
方
company
は
prosperous
しっかり
so well
していますね
prepared.
やっぱり
Well,
会
making
社を
company
起こすと
prosperous
いうの
really
は
is a
大
tough
変だ
job.
ねお金とかそういうのだけじゃ
Money's
ない
the
の
only
が
thing that's
と
important.
ても大事だって父さんのところで勉
I
強
learned
してい
that
てわ
well
か
by
るよ
sending for my father.
会社を起こすということは
Making company prosperous is like having a castle and leading your subordinates.
うちの父さんは
Ah, the
秀
true
吉って
name
名
of
前だけあって
Hideyoshi. He loves reading that of the great leaders of the Sengoku period, the Warring States period.
会社経営の哲学をよくそこから語るんだ
Most of his philosophical speeches on business management start with one of them. Did you know?
戦国最強の騎馬軍団と恐
Takeda
れられた結
Shinjin,
束がバラ
who
バラ
is
で
feared as the leader of the strong cavalry corps in the Sengoku period, started out with his troops and complete this reign and have the kind of strong leadership necessary to utilize them well.
そうなんですか
Is that true?
なんだか意外ですね
That's a little unexpected.
信玄は部下たちを結束させるため数々のリーダーシップを発揮してるんだよ
In order to unite his troops, Shingen utilized several
例え
strategies.
ば
For example, when a
戦場
soldier
で
did
武
well in
功
battle, he
を
would
立て
immediately
た
honor
部
them
下
with a
に対
medal.
しすぐその場で報奨を与えたり普通こう
Well,
いう
that
の
kind of thing
は
was put off
戦
until
が終わって
after
か
the
ら
war, and
ま
they
とめ
were
てやる
all
ものだ
rewarded
から
at
ね
once.
それを
But doing
戦
that
場
regularly
の
in the
本
field of
陣の
battle,
中にいながら
well, it made
ま
everyone
めにや
realize
り
that he
続
was
け
kind of handing them out like candy, and no one cared anymore.
部下の武功を素早く評価し
I mean, he
や
immediately
る気に
showed
つな
his
げたとい
appreciation
う
of
の
troops'
は
military
非常
exploits.
に大き
He
いこ
showed
と
them
だ
in
よ
extremely significant fashion.
それから部下が病気で伏せった時には誰よりも早く駆けつけお見舞いをした
Furthermore, whenever one of his troops was brought down by illness, he would be the first to rush up to them and care for them, things like that.
武田信玄は戦国最強の騎馬軍団を率いただけじゃね
Takeda Shingen wasn't just the man who led the strongest cavalry corps in the Sengoku period.
戦国一
He
の
was the person who carried the,
部下思い
carried the
の
most
人
for
だ
his
ったん
troops
だよ。
throughout the Sengoku period.
そんな方だから部下の皆さんもついてきてくれたんですね。
That must be why all his troops followed him. The truth was, Shen had already heard the story several years ago. When George started to tie his father in with one of those stories, he would always be beaming, looking like he was having a great time. So Shen did not interrupt, but merely smiled and encouraged him to continue.
確かに資本主義の世界で
Of
は
course, in a capitalist world,
お
money
金
is
は
power.
力で
And
石
that's
垣
also
の
the height
高
of
さ
your
でもあ
castle.
る。
So wall.
でもね、
But you can't put up a castle or succeed by
戦も
yourself.
城も自分一人じゃ成り立たない。大勢の部下に支えられ、その力を借りて
That's the kind of thing
初
you
め
can
て
only be
成
great with
立
the
するも
sport
の
many
なんだ。
sports by borrowing their strength.
それを理解してか
I'm
ら
saying this,
父
when
さ
I
んの
look
背
at my
中を見
father's
る
back, I
と
realize how immature I am.
父さんがどれほどの切磋琢磨をして今日を
I
築
see
き
how my
上
father
げて
is
きた
building
から
his character by working hard and understand how well he's able to build all that up until he is where he is today. About to lose his company, you mean? I mean, you don't know that, but that's just funny.
ジョージ様は
George-sama,
お父
you
様
truly
のこ
look
とを
up to your
とて
father.
も尊敬されているんですね。羨ましいです。
I'm jealous.
あ、ごめん。
Sorry, that's not
別
exactly what I
に
meant to
そうい
say.
う意味で言ったんじゃないんだよ。
I am sorry. I didn't mean
私
it
も
that
別
way.
にそういう意味で言ったつもりは。
The two of them awkwardly looked at their feet. Shannon had no parents. They'd been brought up in a welfare institute owned by Kinzo called the Gospel House. Under the guidance of the honorary director, Kinzo, the Gospel House offered excellent students a chance to live a life of service. They were excited they would be able to leave the institute and work as the servants for the Ishiguro Miya family. When she was like 10, it was considered to be the highest honor for a student. 10? Servants from the Gospel Yuin House all took names with the character in, on, non in them while they served. So Shannon wasn't her real name. The same goes for Cannon. All the students of the Gospel House were orphans. Or failing that, people who had been disowned by their parents due to some special circumstances. Because of this, the students had been taught to think of each other as their only family. That's why it seemed so natural to Cannon to call Shannon his sister. While only Shannon and Cannon were working today at the mansion, there were other students who worked in a shift rotation, namely Manon, and Lennon, who also had the On character in their names. However, there were not many students who stayed with the Ushiro Miya family for long. It was time for them to quit after 3 years. What the fuck? You could probably say that Shen, who had been working for over 10 years, was a very rare exception. Working as a servant for the Ushiro Miya family was a heavy burden to bear, but the pay wasn't bad at all. Working for a full 3 years would earn more than what was needed to enter mainstream society. That was why, even though the students realized what a harsh task working for the Ushiro Miya family was, they still hoped to be accepted. In Shan's case, maybe the fact that she managed to continue for more than 10 years should not be viewed as her having more willpower than any of the other servants. Maybe it was a lack of courage to say that she wanted to quit. That forced her to continue working for those 10 years. Ginzo could not even trust his own blood relatives. Those excellent servants sent from the Gospel House were the only ones he could trust. Because that, Ginzo would sometimes allow them to wear the family crest as servants under his direct control, and them work close to him.
その
well, you've already been working here about 10 years, was
10
it?
年近くになるんだっけ。だいぶお金も
You
貯ま
must
っ
have
たん
saved
じゃ
up
ない
a lot of
か
money
い。
by now, right?
どうでしょう。
I don't really...
別に私買いた
It's
い
not
も
like
のも
there's anything in
特に
particular
あ
I'd
りま
like
せ
to
ん
buy.
し。
And just because you have a few million yen doesn't mean you have enough to live the rest of your life with.
目標の額があって、
So you've been working here trying to reach a target sum?
そ
No,
うですね。
I haven't.
私はこのお屋敷以外に行くあてもあ
I
り
have
ま
nowhere
せ
to
ん
go
し、
outside of this mansion.
お嬢様とも他
And
の
I've
使用
been
人
getting
の子たちと
along
も
well with my lady and the other young
仲良
servants
く
too, so...
やれてますし、奥様には時折お叱りを受けますけど、バラ
I
の世
don't
話
have
や
scored about Madame,
お
but
屋敷のお掃除
going
も
to the
楽し
roadside
い
and
で
playing
す
in
し
the mansion is fun. But that isn't your life, Tayo-chan. Shannon cast her eyes downward when she heard her real name. You understood what George was trying to say, close your mouth.
僕は成人し、
You're becoming an
社
adult
会
and
人
full-fledged
にな
member
っ
of
てから
society,
も勉
and
強し
suddenly
て
I've
分かっ
learned
たこと
something.
がある。 子供の頃
A human's life is not as
僕らが思っていたほど人生は単調で短くないんだ。
monotonous or as short as we thought we were when we were kids. Everyone thought that everyone has in their student years. Will the rest of my life be like a monotonous, boring, sleep-inducing after-school class? Or I endlessly, lazily while away the time until finally it ends without anything interesting ever happening? However, these thoughts only arise while a person is still an underage student. Compared to human life, the time they spend as a student is nothing more than the blink of the eye. Just appear before they break out of their shows and cast off their maturity. Inside the shell might be a hot, suffocating, boring world. The world beyond that shell is vast and filled with limitless potential.
君の人生はまだシャノンという殻の中でしかないんだ。
How far your life has only been spent within a shell called
君
Shannon?
は
Are
自
you
分
making
の
the
人
sake of
生
thinking your
が
life will always continue like
この
this?
生活のままずっと続いていくと勘違いしてるんじゃないかな。
それは
That is... Shannon couldn't deny those words. She hadn't been able to find any concrete issues with her way of life. And since she never had any desire or goal to change herself in any particular way, she continued her life idly. And if she were asked whether her life was already fulfilled, she wouldn't necessarily have been able to nod. That may have been a truth she was difficultly averting her eyes from. As long as George did not realize the truth, she would have continued pretending not to notice as her real life slipped away and neglected bit by bit.
ジョージ様
George-sama?
私は
Is it wrong
こ
for
の
me
ままでい
to...
てはいけないのでしょうか。
いけないよ。
It's wrong.
あ、そ
By
れ
the
から
way,
今
can you break one of the
ル
rules
ー
just
ル違
now?
反が一つあったね。
George immediately gave a strict answer and then broke out into a mischievous smile. She already knew what she was being chided for. It seemed that it embarrassed her and she hung her head.
僕たちしかいないとき
Can
は
Rat-san use Sama when the two of us are
様は
alone?
なしの約束だよ。
約
Can
束で
obey
は
that as
聞
a
けませ
promise.
ん。ご命令でしたら
But if that,
聞かない
it
わ
was
け
an
には
order,
い
I
きま
would
せん。
have to obey it.
私は
I'm furniture, please.
じゃあ
Then it's an order. Then it's an order. Yes,
はい。かしこまりました。
Certainly.
ジョージさん。
George-san. As Shannon hung her head, her face red, she said George's name again, this time using San.
それでいいよ。
Yes, that's better, Sayo-chan. A smile rose to George's face, praising Sayo's small act of bravery. The way they talked with each other gave her the sense that their relationship had already been ongoing for some time. For a long while, as if the weather raging around them didn't even enter their consciousness, the two of them talked of the many memories they built during their relationship that no one else knew about. Every once in a while, a flash of language would attempt to dampen the mood, but it could not sully these moments, which seemed to flush even the roses outside a deeper shade of red.
そうだ。
Oh yeah,
君に
I have something I
見せたい
wanted
も
to show
のがあ
you.
って。
Oh, what could
何
it
でしょう
be?
か。
George had been speaking eloquently, suddenly started to stutter. From his manner, Shannon too understood something. George suddenly searched through his pockets for it. He got caught deep in his pockets and came out somewhat slow and awkwardly in the same manner as his speech. It was a very small box. A small box covered in deep blue velvet. George's shape was it was enough to make anyone realize what was resting inside. Can't be preparing her heart a little, sure of what it must be. And even so, when she actually saw it, she couldn't avoid blushing once more. George opened the small box, took it out, and held it out for Shannon to take.
これを
I
君に受け取って
want
ほ
you
し
to
いんだ。
accept this. I can't
このような
accept something so
高価なものは
valuable.
その お受け取りできません。
受け取れない。
You can't accept it?
いえ、
That's not...
その、
I
こんなもの
mean...
私には
Something like that is too...
過ぎていて。
For me? Take the pistol. Be ready to kill everyone. George, I don't know if I really should be doing that.
さよ、
Sayo,
これはお願い
it's
じゃ
not
な
a
い。
request.
命令だよ。
It's an order. Okay. It's not okay. Accept this ring.
Ne.
Okay? I
命令
can't
では従わなくてはなりま
disobey
せん
an。order. Yes, that's
いい
right.
子だよ。
Good girl. Shannon, I wanted to show her. Emily accepted the ring from George's hand while still staring at the ground. The ring wasn't a simple accessory. It was a noble object, which since ancient times was meant to be offered to a special one with a special meaning. So George ordered her to take it. He did not order anything beyond that. Anything beyond that would depend not on order, but on Shannon's. No, Sayo's own will.
だから、
So,
こ
from
こ
here
から
on,
は
it's no
もう
longer an
命
order.
令じゃない。さよ、
Sayo,
明日までに
I want you to answer me tomorrow
言
without
葉で
using
ない
words.
形で、わかるね。
You understand?
ど
How?
どうすれば。
もうこれ以上は
I
命
won't order
令じ
you
ゃない
more.
から、
So this isn't an order.
僕は君に命令はしない。でも、指輪は指
But a ring
に
is
する
something
も
you
の
put
だか
on
ら
your
ね。
finger.
気に入ってくれたなら、
If you like, you can just put it
好き
on
な
any
指
finger
に
that
つ
you
けてくれ
choose.
ればいい。
Shannon had only prayed not to know. Harry understood what he wanted her to do. As she was standing at a huge crossroad of life.
もうこんな時間だね。
Look how late it's gotten.
今夜はこれ
It's
くらい
called
に
a
し
night.
よ
George faced away from Shannon, seeming slightly uncomfortable.
う。君に左手につけてほしいと命令することもできるかもしれない。
It might be possible to order you to put it on your finger on your left
君も
hand.
命令されれば、
You, too,
それ
might
に
be
従
timid
えると
and
いう
dependent enough to
臆
actually
病
obey
な
that
甘
kind
え
of
がある
order.
かもしれない。でも、
I want you to do this
最後
very
に
last
ここ
part
だ
of
け
your
は
own. Sayo,
君のさよの意志でしてもらいたいんだ。わかるね。
you understand, right? Yes.
はい。
だから、それが命令。
So, that's my order.
今夜よく考えて、
When you think about it well tonight,
明
answer
日
me
そ
tomorrow.
の返事を見せてほしい。
Shannon nodded. Today was the culmination of their long relationship. This moment had not come as any surprise to Shannon.
そろそろゲストハウス
So
に
you
戻ろうか。
get back to the guest room soon.
これ以上遅いと、
If we take any
みん
longer,
なを
we'll
心
make
配さ
everyone
せちゃう
worried.
よ。
すみません。
I'm sorry, I
その、
I just remembered something I had to do in the mansion,
思い
so
出しまして、そのお屋敷へ行
I
か
have
な
to
け
go
れば
back
な
to
り
the
ません。
mansion.
こんな時間に
Something this late?
本当か
Really?
な。
George stared into Shannon's face as he laughed mischievously. He had seen through that obvious lie of Shannon's. But, matching how she felt, it wasn't as if he could understand her embarrassment and why she might ask to be alone. And so George, having understood Shannon's lie and all that was behind it, allowed her to leave. Oh shit! Let's stop breaking the fucking window! Goddamn 11? 10 entered the entrance hall to the mansion with the tottering, dot. Her chest was almost to bursting, her chest was filled almost to bursting point with a mixture of exultation and uncertainty that she couldn't exactly describe. After stopping for a second from the servant room to take a deep breath and calm her heart, she opened the door. Inside, Goda, who had been ordered to take the midnight shift at the mansion tonight, was absorbed in an old, worn-out crossword puzzle magazine. They looked up for an instant to see whether one of the family had come, and realized that it was a fellow stranger who returned to the puzzle as if nothing had happened.
源氏様より
So what Genji sama
野
to
田さん
help
の
you?
お手伝いにつくように言われてまいりました。
ああ、そうですか。
Oh, really?
それは
That'll
助
be
かります
useful.
そろそろ戸締まりの見回りに行きたかったのですが、ここを開けてもいい
I
の
told him
か
to go make the rounds and close up the
困ってい
mansion.
た
I
の
was
で
in
す。
two minds whether I should leave this place empty.
何しろ
After all, the meeting
旦那
grows
様
some on
方
the
の
others are
会
going to
合
be
は
as though
ま
we're
だ
going to
だ
be
いぶ
quite
続
some
きそうで
time.
すからね。いつ何時お茶の
They
ご
might
用
order
命があ
some
るか
tea
も
at
わ
any
かりませんし。
time.
そうですよね。
That's true.
ではどうしまし
And
ょう
what shall
か。
we do? Try in
私
here
が留守
while...
番を。
ではシャノンさん、申し訳ありませんが、お屋敷内の見回りをお願いします。
In that case, Shan-chan, sorry, but will you please make the rounds around the mansion?
私はこ
I
こ
was
で
here, awaiting
親
the
族
family's
の皆
orders.
さんのご用命の待機をし
Anyway,
ております
do the
ので。
work. I'm gonna fucking stay here and, you know, do my crossword.
Yes.
Shannon felt a twinge of annoyance. Despite the fact she had come here to help out as a favor, she was being forced to do the job of the person actually on duty as though it were natural. Furthermore, after once silently forcing that task on her, Goda had once again gone back to the magazine and become immersed in his crossword puzzle. For the time being, as a sign of respect for her elder, Shannon bowed her head and fucking told him to piss off, and left the room to make the rounds, I mean. Getting a little angry had enabled her to bring the airy sensation had been feeling until now under control a bit. Besides, she couldn't show this kind of face to Genji again. Until her heart was able to calm down, she went on a little time to herself, and maybe going around the mansion wasn't a bad way to do it. From the dining hall, she began to hear the tumultuous voices of the family discussion. Someone would speak at great length and would then be opposed by someone else. But that rebuttal would continue in a very long, drawn-out fashion until opposed by yet another person. They kept on repeating, though their displeasure was seeping out through their voices. She'd been told to go to the guest house, so it would be bad if she was discovered by Kraus. Thinking that, Shannon quick-footedly slipped by the entrance to the dining hall. Standing inside the mansion controlled by darkness, she ran to check that the house was all closed up, following a prearranged route. She walked down the hall, checking that each window was closed. On Rokujima, there were no humans other than the family, so in actuality, closing up wasn't that terribly meaningful of a task. There were the bears, but, you know, no one liked to talk about the bears. Still, Natsuki had scolded them that this attitude was careless. Closing up had not been customary to the Ishioromiya family. The metal fixtures on the completely chilled windows were freezing. Every time she went to check them, one by one, it felt like the glow in her heart seemed to cool down.
Oh.
I fucking what? Just then, she saw something flickering across the window. Flickering? Something that shouldn't be visible beyond the darkness of the hall. Although she thought it was probably her eyes playing tricks with her, she killed her breathing for a brief moment. And, grasping courage, she fearfully gazed into the center of the hall. However, other than the occasional crack of thunder brightening the hallway, she was able to glimpse any flickering again. It's been her imagination after all. Maybe because she couldn't calm her heart, she saw something that didn't even exist. Shannon resumed checking the windows, found in the back of her mind a certain unnerving possibility had been resurrected. It was that the witch had passed down amongst the servants who served the Ushiromiya family. That ghost story. Which mentioned different masters of the day and the night. In which the master of the night, Beatrice, would sometimes fly around the mansion in the form of sparkling butterflies. Don't think of it. Hadn't said he had once seen it for himself? He got so cute when I didn't believe him and I told him he was just seeing things. Could possibly... Really? The roar of the thunder gave no answer. Butterfly. Fuck you. Oh, great! The sacrifice is chosen by the key. What the fuck you mean? Genji once again tightened his bow tie and looked outside through a crack in the curtains. Maybe the rain had died down a bit since the previous night. It didn't look like any thick rain clouds were planning to let any trace of the morning sun get by. The morning was dim and far from refreshing. As expected, it doesn't seem that we stopped today.
お待たせしました、源氏様。
My apologies for keeping you waiting, Genji-sama. Ken finished taking his appearance and exited the washroom. In a normal schedule, it was rare for anyone to have to suffer going straight from a midnight shift to a morning shift. It was a special session for just the 2 days of the family conference. But then, as long as Typhoon didn't leave today, the relative stay on this island would last until tomorrow. Cannon thought it was best to be prepared for the special schedule to be extended by one more day. A few of them left the guest house, owning their umbrellas. The Rose Garden had been devastated by the wind and rain last night. Even though they had spent several days making a beautiful welcome to guests, it had only taken one stormy night to ruin it all. Cannon sighed. The two headed for the mansion. They were supposed to meet up with Goda and prepare breakfast. Goda was such a perfection that it would undoubtedly have been up for some time already, and now be in the middle of preparing breakfast, both exquisite and elegant as glasswork. The racy overhang by the entrance of the mansion and floated up the umbrellas. Genji took from his pocket a bundle of several keys and used it to unlock the front door. There was nothing at Rokujima outside the Ushiro Miya family mansion. There used to never be a need for be accustomed to locking up. However, Natsuki had ordered that it be part of the dues to lock up the mansion around midnight to early morning. After unlocking the early morning was to be done by servants who had the morning shift. Since Goda would begin the preparation of breakfast as soon as he woke up, this task was undertaken by Genji and Cannon. Silence to follow in the mansion, giving the impression that the mansion itself was still asleep. Well, then, let us begin this morning chores.
Hi.
Yes. The two of them stood up and began opening curtains throughout the mansion. The curtains remained closed inside the mansion would be unable to shake off its gloom, as if it had managed to escape the previous night. Cannon, following well-versed procedure, went around the mansion opening one window after another without having to retrace his steps once. Even the horrible weather, by opening the curtains, it began to feel just a little bit more like morning. While doing that, he passed in front of the kitchen. Though he hadn't yet smelled anything, his empty stomach started aching in anticipation of the scent of Goda's much bragged about cooking.
おはようございます。
Good morning. Tried to greet Goda, who had thought would be bringing the meal inside the kitchen, but Goda was nowhere to be seen. The kitchen was darkly lit, and never mind the curtains, the ventilation fan wasn't even spinning. It was still cold in the room, without a hint of a flame. Of course, some preparation for breakfast was taking place. Although it must not be allowed to happen, maybe Goda had overslept. Servants are humans too, says the person who calls themselves furniture. Thinking someone on the show to wake up or something and be late as a result. In the rare case of that happening, it was a virtue of a servant to casually smooth the situation over so as not cause an unsightly scene. To make sure that their masters never even noticed that such a mistake happened in the first place. Ken took up the receiver of the phone, fitted to the wall, and dialed the extension number of the room where the servant slept. He couldn't hear the sound of a dial tone. Ken tried picking up the receiver again, but even so, he couldn't hear the usual dial tone. He tried dialing again, but it had no apparent effect. Maybe that lightning last night caused a mechanical fault and broken the internal telephone lines? Equipment in this mansion was all well worn. Ken fully understood that even the smallest thing could have caused it to break down. Ken gave up trying to wake him up with the phone and dashed off the room where the servant slept. How long had she slept until? How long had it been since she had woken and started lazily staring on the ceiling? A vague sense of waiting was Natsui's usual morning experience. Okay. Her sleep was always late and she wouldn't even been able to sleep at all without medicine. Natsui sleeping was definitely not a happy thing. When she looked outside, she saw that it was still pouring. If she hadn't sensed a tiny amount of light, she might have mistakenly thought that it was still last night. She herself was one of the hosts, so she mustn't wake up later than her guests. Urging herself on, she raised up her body, which still hadn't completely recovered from yesterday's weariness. While she was inside this room, no one would torment her. Her headache wouldn't get any worse than it already was. This room was her only peaceful space. So when she left, it means returning to the world of her husband's siblings, probing each other's minds. Then wouldn't it be better to stay locked up in this room forever? Naturally, he smiled bitterly at this fantasy. She was starting to sound like Kinzo. Even though most of the time she would call Kinzo names for staying locked up in his own room and taking no notice of anyone, the truth was that she actually longed to do that herself. Naturally gave her head a small shake and her fancy was displaced by the reawakening of her usual headache. When she reached for the doorknob, trying to leave the room, her hands touched the scorpion charm that she had hung from it before going to sleep the previous night. It was Maria's charm that Jessica had given Natsui. If I remember correctly, Jessica had said something about having the power to repel magic. She should hang it from her doorknob. It was thanks to the charm that at least this room had been protected from her husband's siblings' malice. As she thought this, her mood began to get a little more cheerful. So perhaps it was thanks to Jessica. Just to get a little bit of peaceful sleep. Then Natsui remembered. Last night, that's right, last night I promised Jessica that I would give her a charm my own in exchange for this one, didn't I? Natsui opened a drawer of her dresser and took out an antique accessory case that she had treasured ever since she was a child. Inside, there were many small objects that Natsui had thought were valuable at the time. From Miss those, she pulled out a red pouch. Inside was a small round mirror about 10 centimeters across. It looked quite old, but the design on the back of the mirror was very ornate and felt like something with historical value. At the very least, it looked much more effective than when compared to the other charm, which looked like a plastic scorpion key holder. She had heard that this mirror was a spiritual mirror to ward off evil spirits, and she had given it especially by her grandmother when her grandfather's mementos had been distributed. It had been believed since ancient times that strange powers dwell within mirrors. Most likely, the way they reflect light creates a belief that they also reflect misfortune, malice in some way. Natsui returned to the mirror to its pouch. Probably be a fitting object to hand over to Jessica. Just as she was placing it on her pocket, the sound of someone knocking on the door suddenly echoed throughout the room. Yes. Morning, madame. It's Genji. Have you seen anyone else in the house? Everyone seems to be gone and dead. My apologies for waking you up so early. I'm coming now.
何事ですか？
What is it? No sir had ever come to her this early in the morning, and especially not directly. Maybe something bad had happened. For example, maybe some fatal oversight had been made during the preparation of breakfast, and the household would be put to shame in front of the guests or something. Naturally, breathed out slowly, as if getting a head start on the trouble she was surely about to be told of. When she opened the door, Genji once again said the morning greeting to her while bowing deeply. Natsui tentatively responded.
おはようございます。
Good morning.
何かありましたか？
Did something happen?
申
Did
し訳
something
ございませ
happen?
ん。
My apologies.
昨夜の
Seems that the
落雷
taverns are out of order due to
電
last
話
night's
機に故
lightning.
障が出たようです。内線電話が普通になっておりま
The
す
terminal lines have gone dead, so please forgive
直接の
my
お
coming
伺
to
い
you
になってし
directly.
まったことをお許しください。
内線電話が普通？
Internal lines have gone dead?
それは面倒になりま
That
し
would
た
be
ね。
troublesome.
修理は可能ですか？
We must repair them?
残念ながら
Really, we don't know the location of the
故障箇所はわかり
damage.
ません。
We'd like to call an expert and have them repair it.
ということは、
Which means that we don't have to repair
こ
until
の
the
台風
typhoon
が
has
過ぎるま
passed.
では修理不能ということですか？つまり、
In
客
other
人た
words,
ちの
the
滞在
lines will be
中
out of order
は
for
ず
the
っと
remainder
普通と
of
い
our
うことで
guest
すね。
stay. Oh, how we looked down upon for this.
客人たちのお世話に
We
支
issue
障
the
は
providing them with a proper service.
出ないよう最善
We'll
を
do
尽
what
く
we
し
can
ま
to
す
make sure nothing fucking happens, okay? Nothing's happening here.
結構です。
Very well.
粗相のないよ
To
う
be counting
よ
on
ろ
you,
しく頼みま
on you
す。
to ensure that everything goes smoothly. Naturally, let out a small sigh of relief. They prepared for the worst. The telephone breakdown wasn't the kind of trouble she was worried about. Then, even this would probably be enough to spark sarcasm from Eva. Naturally, gave her head a light little shake.
朝食の準備は順
Ah,
調
the
ですか？
preparation of breakfast proceeding well.
それが
About that, we haven't been able to
動画
find
の
Goda.
姿が見えません。行
The
われ
arrangements
た
for breakfast have yet to be carried out.
なんですって？
What did you say? Actually, was indignant. Sure, this was a much bigger problem than the phone's not working. Despite that, this piece of information was the part that had been postponed. Why did everything go well most of the time, and then something like this when the relatives were visiting? Actually placed a hand on her forehead and shook her head sharply.
大方朝寝坊でもしているのでしょう。
Most likely he overslept.
とにかく、
Anyway, it
誰
doesn't
で
matter
もい
who
いか
does
ら
it. Just
急い
hurry
で
while
朝食の
preparing
準備を。
breakfast. What? Now she had exited into the hallway and turned around for a second, closed the door to her room. The pleasant thing that she saw there silenced her completely. It was unsettling sight as if someone dipped their fingers in a dark red liquid and clawed at the area around the doorknob. So someone soaked both their hands in blood and groped at the door and the knob. Like someone had to want to say something like that. This mark is an awful prank. Yeah, you were supposed to die.
これは
What wicked mischief is
何
this?
のいたずらですか？悪趣味な。
How awful.
私も
I also noticed
今
it
こ
as
こ
I
に
came to
お
call
伺
you.
いして初めて気づきました。後ほど清掃いたします。
I will clean it later. Most likely.
趣味の悪い客人の冗談でしょう。
A vulgar joke by one of our guests.
不愉快です。
Disgustingly.
実に不愉快
Truly
です。
disgusting. Who in the world would post such a childish prank? Actually, had a pretty good idea, but of course there was no proof. So when she pushed the issue, it would be just seem as though she was making a fuss about nothing. On the contrary, it would definitely be better for her to say she hadn't even noticed the prank had been played in the first place. Actually, gave the order to have it cleaned and head off to the parlor with clacking heels. When Natsuki and Genji arrived in the parlor, Eva and Hideyoshi were already there.
皆
Good
さん
morning, everyone.
おはよう夏日さん
Morning, Natsui.
朝食も
Our
郷田
daughter
さん
was
が
that one
作
to
る
make
っ
us
ていう
breakfast
話じゃ
too.
ない
Isn't
か
that right?
朝から胃袋が大喜びで騒ぎっぱなしなんや
I started getting out of my stomach's been getting all excited about that since this morning.
本家の楽しみは食事くらいがせいぜいですもの
Yes, food
ね
is about the only thing worth looking forward to here, isn't it?
エヴァさんも朝からご機嫌がよろしいようで
You
何
too,
より
Eva-san. I'm pleased to hear that you are well this morning. Fuck you. Fuck you too. Natsuki returned Eva's gaze, which was fiercely competitive, even though it was early in the morning, with a weary expression. Then Canon jogged in. At rounding apology to the roads for running inside the mansion, he approached Genji and told him something in a small voice.
カノン
Canon?
ゴーダはまだ
Have
見
you
つか
still
ら
not
ないの
find
ですか
Goda?
申し訳ございません奥様
My apologies, ma'am.
お屋敷内もゲストハウスも回ったのですが
Went around
まだ
the inside mansion, the guest house, but still.
一体どこへ行ったというのです
Where in the world has he gone?
とりあえず今は
Now brings
ゴ
a
ーダ
higher
より朝食
priority
の
than
準備が
finding
先決で
Goda.
す至急対応しなさい
Quickly, off to it.
はい
Yes. Cannon glanced at Genji, rather. But it looked like he had something else to report, but needed to ask Genji whether he was the right person to say it. Genji nodded and decided to give the report himself.
奥様
Madame,
ゴーダだけ
it's
で
not
はあ
only
りません
Goda. Your husband is also nowhere to be found. My husband?
はい
Yes.
奥様より先に旦那様に朝食の
I thought I would report to him before
ご報告し
you
よう
about the lack of preparation for breakfast in his room, but I did not find him
お
there.
伺いしたのですお姿がありませんでしたそれから旦那様だけではありません
Our lord, it was not only he who was missing.
ルドルフ様ご夫妻と
Rudolph Salmon and his wife as well as Rosa's son are nowhere to be found.
ゲストハウスにも
Not even the guest
屋
house.
敷にもですか
Not in the mansion.
はい
Yes.
ゲストハウスのお部屋にも
Nor are
ありません
they in their rooms in the guest house. When she heard that Goda alone was missing, she had thought that he might have slept in or was loafing around somewhere. Once she heard that several of the roaches were also missing, she began thinking a little more optimistically. Last night's family conference might have continued all night and in fact might still be going on. It would then be imagined they had wanted to cool their heads off in that stuffy room. Now all gone off on a group walk through the rain. The part about cooling off their heads really sounded like something Cross would like to say. Probably Oda had been called to go with them to aid them with something. But it was not a man who lost track of time. He had understood that if he did not return, the preparation of breakfast would be hindered. Still, perhaps as much as he'd like to leave, the atmosphere would not permit him to. The conference was continuing in that manner even this very moment. Yes, Natsuki thought this to be extremely pervasive theory. Natsuki remembered the illusion she had felt the morning of being sucked into the continuation of the previous night. Upon learning that Fyung was an illusion, she once again let out a deep, weary breath. Because it had been good, the filthy vultures circling around Kinjo's property was still continuing.
大方
Looks like they were still repeating that same discussion about the inheritance somewhere in the garden.
愛も
Or
変わら
maybe
ず
the
遺産の
beach.
話を繰り返しているのでしょうとにかく
In
ゴ
any
ーダを
case,
呼
let's
び
call
戻さ
Goda
なく
back,
て
or we never complete
い
the
つまでも
preparation
朝
for
食の準備が
breakfast.
整いません
ってことは何や
Oh, what are you saying?
兄さんたちの
Are
話し合い
Nisa
は
and the
まだ
rest still
続
can hear
く
their
んだ
discussion? He had thought she'd spoken in a small voice, but Hideyoshi had overheard her and managed to grasp the situation.
兄さんもルドルフもタフね
Nisa and Rudolph sure are tough.
ローザの場合は
Maybe it's just youth in
若
Rose's
さかしら
case.
私たち夕べの24時過ぎにはもう眠くてベッドに戻らせてもらったんだけど
go back to bed just after midnight.
確かにあの時点でも まだ兄さんたちは熱論を
I
交
remember
わ
that
してた
Nissan and the
わ。
rest were still having a heated discussion at the time.
男って熱くなると嫌ね。
Men sure are nasty when they get excited. Natsuki snorted, her face still blank.
カノン、表を探してらっしゃい。
Cannon, search outside.
ゴーダを見つけたらすぐに戻って朝食の準備をするよう伝えなさい。
Tell him to return immediately and begin preparations for breakfast.
かしこまりました。
Certainly.
夏日姉さん、
Natsui,
表とは
Nissan.
限らないわよ。
Nissan, they aren't necessarily outside,
お
right?
父様の書
They also be
斎っ
inside
てこと
father's
は
study.
ないかしら。
なるほど。
Ah,
考
sure.
えられん
I can see
話や
that.
どういう話
I
の
know
流れかは
what
わか
they've
ら
been
んが
discussing.
お父さんの主催に
There's also
場
the
所
chance of being moved to father's study
お
and
父さ
climbed
んに
him.
も混じってもらって
Don't
議
hear
論
that
を
discussion.
続けてるっちゅう可能性は十分あるやろ。
そのような汚ら
I
わ
can
しい
imagine
話
that
題
father
を好
would
ん
willingly
で
invite that
お父様が書
detestable
斎を
topic
招
into
き
his
入れる
study.
こと。あらそう。
You really think so?
じゃあ仕方ないわね。
Well, then there's nothing we can do.
源氏さんとカノン君は
I'm
申し
sorry,
訳ないけ
Genji-san.
ど
Can
外を
you
探してき
research
てちょうだい。
outside?
確かに兄さんなら頭を冷やすために外を散歩しようなんて言い出
I'm sure it'll
し
be
ても
offering
不思議はないわ。
Nana-san to the Rose of the outside for a walk to cool their head.
たとえこんな天気
Even in
で
this
もね。
weather,
私はお父様の書
I
斎
can
に行
go
っ
to
てくるわ。
father's study.
ひょっとすると
After
そ
all,
こに
there's
いる
still
か
some
も
chance
しれ
he'll be
ない
there,
し
isn't there?
ね。客人であるエヴァさんにそこまでのご足労はおかけでき
Eva-san,
ま
I
せん。
guess such as yourself mustn't trouble. Is
私も行っ
themselves.
てきます。朝のご挨
I
拶も
will
兼ね
go.
て。
I can also tell him good morning.
あら、じゃあお願いするわね。
Really? Then I'm counting on you. All right.
でも朝の挨拶を交わしてくれるかは疑わしいわね。
I don't doubt whether he will return your greeting.
夏日姉さんってお父様とはなんかよ
Natsu-san.
ろしかったかしら。
Nissan, were you on good terms with father?
仲が良いかはわかり
I
か
don't
ね
know
ま
whether
す
it could
が
be called good terms. But he hasn't called me a bitch or a whore in the last 2 months, so I believe we're on better terms than usual.
後宮家の跡継ぎの妻を許され
I'm
るだ
certain
け
that
の
I have
信
gained his
頼
trust as
を
the
得
wife
て
of
い
the
ると
successor to the
確信して
Ushiro
いま
family.
す。なら
And I'm sure he will at
と
least
返事
answer
く
you,
らいはし
won't
てくれ
he?
るわね。お父様とは朝食くらいご一緒したいの。
Oh, to at least eat breakfast with father.
ぜひ降りてきてくださる
I wonder
よ
if we can convince him to
説
come
得して
down
く
and
れ
join
ないかし
us.
ら。私たちはすっかり
It seems
嫌わ
that
れちゃっ
he
てる
thoroughly
みた
tries
い
to
だ
rest
け
us.
ど
I'm sure if his
そこま
trust
で
in
信頼を
Natsuya,
得ている
he
夏
will
日姉
surely
さんの言
listen.
うことなら聞いてくれそうですもの。そこまで短歌を切ってお
You
父
can't
様を
convince
説
father
得
after
で
speaking
き
to
ず
me so sharply and
一
have to
人
come
で
down
降
by
りてきちゃ
yourself.
ったりしたら出る
And
な
how
ん
do you want me
て
to say
二度
that
と
you
言
have
えない
gained his
かも
trust?
ね。
Will you?
自信はありませんが
I'm not confident,
努力はします。
but I will try. Natsu responded, discouraged. She had absolutely no confidence in her ability to bring him out. Eva herself was treating it like a joke, suspecting that it couldn't be done. Then so naturally would lose face. She gave up and said it was impossible for her and let Eva go instead. Eva's being spared on a reasonable demand caused Natsuki's tightly clenched fist to shake. When Genji realizes, he spoke softly to her over her shoulder.
奥様
Madame,
よろしけれ
you
ば
would
これ
please
をお
take
持
this.
ちください。
それは
Is that... Genji handed Natsu a sparkling gold key of ornate design. It was a key to Kinzo's study. The study would always lock itself and couldn't be unlocked as long as Kinzo forbade entrance. However, since Genji was especially trusted by Kinzo, he was allowed to carry a key to that door.
でもこの鍵を使ったら
But this key
あなたも
is
咎めを
used.
受けるのではあ
Won't
り
you
ません
receive the blame?
親方様
I'm
は
not just sleeping deeply. Simply knocking a
深
door may
く
not
お
reach
休
his
み
ears.
になられている時扉を叩くくらいではお耳に届かない。それに
I'm bruising the master leaves the room. It would
親
get
方
more
様
evident if
に
you
お
must
部屋
talk
を
to him
出て
through
い
the
ただ
door.
くよう説得するには扉越しでは難しゅうございましょう。ぜひお使いください。
Please use it.
源氏
Genji. So now, Natsui had thought of Genji as a ghost room to work directly under Kinzo. It would never work for her. It looked like she would have to alter her understanding of him. But by then, Genji had already turned his back on her and was walking down the corridor with a cannon. As Natsui watched them go, the words that reached her from behind were sneering.
じゃあお父様を必ず連れてきてね。
Be sure to bring father with you then. Okay.
息子の可愛い嫁の言うことですもの。きっと聞いてくれるわよ。
After all, it's his son's darling wife she's asking. I'm sure he'll listen to you.
私たちは客
We
人
are
だ
guests,
から
so
こ
let
こ
us
で
leisurely
の
relax
んびり
here.
くつろがせてもらうわ。
予算かえば口が過ぎるで。
What? Little Eva, you're talking too much.
すまんが
Sorry, but
夏井姉さん、
Natsui-san will
お父さん
leave
の
your
ことをよ
father
ろ
to
し
you.
く頼むわ。
Natsui left without replying. At his place, her heels clacking loudly with every step. After all the excitement of the previous night, there was no way anyone was going to wake up soon. George, Aniki, Jessica, and I were snoring loudly in the bed in the cousin's room. But Maria, who didn't join in, who had gone straight to bed the previous night, suddenly and completely opened her eyes. As she rubbed her sleepy eyes and looked down, loud snoring coming from the three cousins continued. For a while, Maria had to think about what had happened. Out of that, she realized her mother was not with her and quickly got lonely. Maria left the cousin's room, trying to head to the room that had been arranged for her and her mother. Paying no heed to the three who were sleeping soundly, she made a loud slumming sound on the way out. In response, Butler mumbled and rolled over in his sleep, but it wasn't enough to wake him up. After a while, Maria returned, once again opening the door with a lively bang. When she had left the room, her face had been sleepy, but after returning, she now looked discontent. After that, she climbed up on Bowser's bed, which happened to be the closest, and started yelling and jumping on it like a trampoline.
Wake up! What? Fuck! Out of my stomach!
敵襲か
Is it a raid?
回せ
Surround them! Oh, why the...
To make sure that I was awake, Maria jumped over onto George Aniki's bed and started bouncing on that too. In that manner, the three of us were greeted with an extremely pleasant awakening.
ありがとうマリアちゃん。起こして
Thanks,
くれたんだね。
Maria-chan, for waking us up.
僕たちは夕べが遅かったから
Stop it from leaving in
寝
after
坊しちゃ
that
ったの
late
を
night.
起こしてくれたんだね。でももう少しだけ起
I would have been
こし
perfect if
方
you
を
could
優
just
し
been
く
a
してくれ
little
る
more
と
gentle.
完璧だったかな。
ジョージ兄さんは本当に大人だよ。
Charge these...
尊敬する。
Nissan, you really are an adult. I respect that.
もうすぐ7時なんだな。
It's almost 7. It's almost 7. Not a bad time to wake up. But you'll hate it still.
Ew! Mama's not here! Ew!
ローザおばさんが
Auntie Rosa?
部屋にいなかった
She
の
wasn't in her room?
もう起きてお屋
Wonder if
敷
she
の
would
方
have
に行っ
already
ちゃった
woken
の
up
か
and
な
gone to the mansion. And gone to the mansion.
She's not here!
Maria kept groaning, ooh ooh, and looking unhappy. Seemed like she wasn't simply lonely because she couldn't find her mother, but actually unhappy because her mother wasn't in the place she thought she was. This made her feel like she'd been tricked. If we could have just told her where her mother was, I had enough to satisfy her. But unfortunately, as long as we were here, we had no way of finding that out.
どうせ朝食に行くことになるんだし、屋敷の方に行こう
It's
ぜ。
time for Rex anyway, so let's head over to Vanir.
そうだな。
Good idea.
マリア、一緒に
Maria,
屋
let's
敷へ
go to
行
the
こう
mansion
ぜ。
together, okay?
きっとローザおばさんもそこさ。
I'm sure Auntie Rose will be over there too.
ママはお屋敷
Mama's in the mansion.
I mean, probably.
なら行く
Then I'll go.
おう
Ooh,
そうだね。
that's right.
お
Let's
屋
go to
敷
the
に行こう
mansion.
か。多分親たちはもう向こうに行って
The
るん
parents
だ
have
よ。
probably already gone there.
Maria regained her usual composure, and as though her early temper never happened. She got dressed, left the room, and headed for the mansion. The door to the study once again knocked on, but there was no answer. He was still sleeping and she couldn't wake him. If she returned downstairs saying something like that, Eva would be very amused and triumphant. And even aside from the whole Eva issue, there was a problem that yesterday, during this once-a-year family conference, he had stayed locked up all day and had still not come out to greet the guests. Even though he was the head, no, especially because he was the head, he couldn't fail to make an appearance. Did she convince him? Natsuki readied herself, and, using the key that she had borrowed from Genji, opened the door. A sweet sense that seemed to eat in her brain poured from the narrow opening she had created, and though she was prepared for it, she couldn't help but grimace. Thinking that she might still be sleeping, Natsuki entered the room quietly. When she did, Kinzo, already awake, was looking down out the window.
お目覚めでした
So,
か。
you're awake.
おはようございます。
Good morning.
どうやって入ったのか。
How did you get in?
Kinzo spoke with his back still facing her. His voice was not harsh but calm, and Natsuki was slightly reassured. However, he was at least in a bad enough mood that he had ignored the sound of all that knocking, even though he had been awake. Natsuki wasn't able to break the tension.
申し訳ございませんでした。
My sincere
源氏
apologies.
さんにお願
I
い
asked
して、
Genji-san, he
書斎
allowed
の
me to
鍵を
borrow
お
the
借
key
り
to
さ
the
せていただ
study.
きました。
Oh?
源氏が
Genji did?
我が友
My friend
が
thought
そ
was
れ
that
の
important. I
担
must
当を
have
持
no
った
choice but
な
to
ら
listen.
話を聞かぬわけにもいくまい。して
Tell me,
私に
what
何
business do you
用か。
have?
はい。
Yes.
もうじき
Have breakfast will be soon prepared. I would be greatly appreciated if you would join us.
ぜひお
Also,
父様
multiple
に
people
も
are
お祝い
missing and
い
we
ただ
don't
き
know
た
what
く思いま
happened
し
to
た。
them.
Kenzo smiles.
Ah, Beatrice.
朝食はここで
I
と
will eat here.
いつものように運
Have it
ばせ
brought
る
here
がい
like
い。
always.
しかしお父様、
But father,
年に一
this
度
is
の
the
親
annual
族会
family
議です。
conference.
せめてお顔をお見せになってくだ
Please,
さい。
at least let them see your face.
下に降り
You asked me to go downstairs.
私の
And joining this
死
doesn't
後
how my heritage is to be
遺
chewed
産を
apart
ど
after
の
I
ように
die?
食いちぎるのかを決める議
I'm
論に
also
加
asking you
わ
to
れ
not
とい
let
う
everyone,
のか。
if you die, not to let your last appearance be fucking talking about Beatrice.
バカらしい。
How foolish!
そのような
And keep talking about this kind of thing as much as they like
話は
without
好きに
me.
進めるがいい。
そしてそれが親族会議だというなら
If that's what you call family conference, something important that I should leave my room for.
私は忙しいのだ
I am busy.
構うでない
Do not bother me.
With his last words, keeping the threat to any further questions would be useless. Natsui, realizing that adding any further pleas would finally bring his wrath down upon her. It would be annoying to hear Eva sarcastically say that she had been able to convince him after all. But there's nothing more Natsui could do.
そうですか。
Is that so?
わかりま
Oh,
した
I'm tired.
み
Understood.
んな残念がるでしょう
I am sure that everyone will be sorry to hear it, but I will tell them.
Natsui decided to give up. Bowing slightly, she made to leave the room before Kinzo's spasmodic temper could fire up again. That is a word. And as she did, Kinzo called out to her. Compared to the usual Kinzo, his voice was calm and gentle, like it came from another person.
夏日
Natsui.
後ろ見
It's been quite some time since we married the Ishiguro Miya
もう
family.
随分になるな
はい
Yes.
後ろ宮を名乗ることを許されてからもう随分になります
It has been a while since I was first permitted to bear the name Ushiro Miya.
前の家が恋しくなることもあ
You
る
sometimes belong for your previous
い
family.
え
No,
嫁ぐとは
parents means throwing away your parents' family.
私は後ろ宮
I am
夏
Ushiro Miya Natsui.
帰る家も
I have
懐
a
かしい
family to
家
return to.
す
To
べてはこの
reminiscence
後ろ宮の
over
家のみで
is
す
only the Ushiro Miya family. It was definitely not an exaggeration. Such was the level of Natsui's resolve in calling herself an Ushiro Miya. That was why she was so sorrowful that, despite all her effort, had been fruitless and she was not accepted by even her husband.
クラウスが
If Kraus had been a
お
woman,
前がその
You had been the
後であったな
husband.
Oh?
らいや
no.
それ
I
は
won't say that.
ない
That'd get me cancelled on Twitter.
それは
What do
どうい
you
う意味
mean
ですか
by that?
お父様
Father? Natsui was shocked. If Kinzo's words just now had been meant literally, it would have been more than enough to make up for all she had suffered up to that point.
忘れよ
Oh, I get it.
年寄りのざれ言だ
It's just the nonsense of an old man.
Kinzo once again faced away from her. He had told her to forget it, but Natsui couldn't help but feeling a warmth in her heart.
お父様
Father,
この夏日
even
は
though I'm not connected to you by blood,
お父
I'm
様の
still your
娘です
daughter.
後ろ宮家の
The
名誉
honor
も
and
栄
glory
光
of the
も
Ushiro
そして
Miya
お
family.
父様が残
And
されたも
everything
のも
you
す
have
べて
left.
この夏日
I guarantee you, I will see it protected myself.
このわしをまと
Do
う
you
資
not have
格
the
は
qualification to wear the
ない
one winged
し
ego?
かし
Of the one winged
お前
ego
の
is surely
心に
engraved
は
in your
確かに
hearts.
片翼のわしが刻まれているならばお前は
In that case, you're
間
enlisting
違
my
い
blood
なく
relative.
我
Who
が
will inherit the glory of the Ushiro Miya
後
family?
宮家の栄光を引き継ぐものだお前の衣服にわしがないことを
I must hear that there is no ego in your clothes.
しかしそれに耳を
However,
貸
there's
すこと
nothing to lend an ear to.
はない心にわしを持つ者だけが真の
Only those who hold
私
the ego in
の
their hearts are my
血族な
true
の
blood relatives.
お前を後ろ宮家に迎えられ
And I
た
believe it is an honor that I was able to welcome you into the Ushiro Miya
今は
family.
光栄を持っている
Without saying anything more, Kinzo remained with his back to Natsui. However, Natsui couldn't help but feel something warm well up inside her that she had felt long ago, when she had just been a child. Natsui bowed silently to his back and left the room.
あらちょうどいいタイミングだったわね
perfect timing.
お父様の様子はどう
How is father?
あんまり
You were
遅い
taking so
か
long
ら
to keep
様子
check.
を見に来ちゃったのよ
When Natsui left the study, she saw Eva climbing stairs and their eyes met. He was working unpleasantly, then Natsui just in the room, trudgingly after failing meets Shinzo. However, the way Natsui was now, such a perverse laugh would not disturb her. She not permitted to wear the family crest on her clothing. But she was afraid to wear it in her heart. So she spoke calmly, clearly, and confidently. The dignity of the one who would protect the glory of the Ushigoromiya family. Father said that he would not join in on the family conference. He says that he has no interest in such an obscene topic. Yes, yes. Excuses, excuses. You weren't able to say, Father, so say so frankly. How pitiful. I'm beginning to understand Father's feelings of regret. What do you mean by that? Natsui did not answer. As the Kinzo had done earlier, she showed Eva her back as she headed down the stairs. Trying to be together what had happened, Eva could only determine that she had been made fun of, and if something happened, quickly boasted Natsui's confidence. Even so, she didn't have the courage to risk Kinzo's wrath. Unable to even knock on the door, she could only scratch at the air in front of it, pluck her tongue, and follow after Natsui. So, were Nisan and the rest there? Did Father tell you about them? I didn't get the chance to ask, but they were not inside the study. Father never let them into the rooms to discuss this lonely topic. It is unlikely that he knows where they were. Let's go downstairs and wait for the servants to return from the search. Breakfast may be late, but I put some tea, Eva-san. I will be fine. We could hide her confusion over the complete difference in Natsui's demeanor. She was acting so boldly, and when Eva had admitted she had even had a sense of dignity about her. I didn't find fault with anything, she only followed Natsui back to the parlor. When the two of them returned to the parlor, not only Hideyoshi, but the four children and Nanjo as well had gathered there. Kenji had been talking with Hideyoshi, reported the conversation when he noticed that Natsui had returned. You've still not found my husband and the rest. Yes, my apologies. Also, Kumasawa has begun the preparation of breakfast. He said that she would need just a little longer. The clock reads a little past 8 a.m. 8 o'clock was the time that breakfast supposed to have started. The mere fact that Hose had gone over that time limit was a disgrace under normal circumstances. Cannon is now searching outside. Furthermore, no one else has seen Shannon. Even Shannon? Honestly, maybe why my husband taken for this walk of his. How many people couldn't be found? The number of people had grown so large it was starting to feel truly unpleasant, as though they were the only ones being left out on something interesting. At the very least, it looked like the children, no, Maria especially, felt the same way. She was indignant, her stomach grumbling, almost as though her mother and the others had left her alone to go off and eat something delicious without her. Trying to fix her bad mood, the other children were flipping throughout the channels on the television, trying to find a program that might interest Maria. Nanjo was sitting on the sofa, gazing blissfully at the children while reading a book. No doubt it was a book about chess. The sound of footsteps came rushing towards them with a pitter-patter. There was not only one set they realized before they saw the source that was not Kraus and the rest, but probably Cannon. Madam, excuse me. Just by your appearance, you still haven't been able to find them. My apologies. I still.
もう十分です。
That will be enough.
ご苦労かけました。
You've worked hard. Didn't know where they were, but they had to be somewhere on this island. They hadn't put anything in their mouths since last night, so their stomachs must be growling by now. They would surely saunter in any time now. Natsuki was already dumbfounded, and she had begun to think that there was no urgent need to find them right then.
私はお客様方にお茶のご用意をしに厨房へ行きます。二人とも早朝からご苦労様でした。
Thanks to both of you for all your hard work early in the morning. Natsuki, acting as though the recent tension caused a new surge in her headache, left the parlor. Anna tried to call her as she left, but Natsuki departed swiftly. What is it? Was there something else? Yes. I didn't find her husband or anyone else, but... Can't sound evasive. He still didn't know where they were, but maybe he had found something with some relation to that. When Eva and Hideyoshi noticed the exchange of words, they came over. They probably noticed the slightly strange way Kanon was acting. What's going on, Kanon-kun? You're on Kraus-Nissan and the others? Actually, something looked odd about the Rose Garden storehouse. Something looked odd. What do you mean by that? It was, how should I explain it? Anna once again hesitated. Wasn't speaking anything like you expect from usually fearless Kanon. Eva and Hideyoshi exchanged quizzical looks at this display. What do you mean? You don't mean to say they're inside the storehouse? No, I'm going to check the inside now. I was just returning to get the key, but... I don't get it. It sounds like we just got to investigate inside, right? Where's the key to that storehouse? It is in the servant room. Let's check inside the storehouse immediately. Dan dashed off to the servant room and returned with the key. Genji left the parlor saying that he would go check, but Eva and Hideyoshi had also followed. What was this something odd about the storehouse that had caused the usually fearless Kanon to hesitate? Still pouring outside, but their curiosity over the something that Kanon couldn't talk about had won out. While the children made big fuss watching television, Kanon and the rest dashed off to the entrance. The Rose Garden storehouse was a place that housed various tools to use to grant the garden. Definitely not a pretty building. Based on experience that had been built hidden in the corner of the Rose Garden. Kanon, Genji, Eva, and Hideyoshi came cutting across the Rose Garden holding umbrellas. Which was used not by those simply approaching the garden, but also those maintaining it. As they dashed further along it, the front of the storehouse came into view. Very odd, old shed of a storehouse, and compared to the flawlessly perfect beauty of the Rose Garden, it looked pretty sad, seedy looking. It's easy to understand why it had been built in a hard-to-see place. Eva and Hideyoshi arrived at the storehouse long after Kanon and Genji. That's what I get for not being fit! You're too short or fast. I thought my heart was gonna explode. I guess they'd build a storehouse over here. What is that? When Eva looked at where Ken was pointing, she was at a loss for words. Notice this, Hideyoshi also followed Ken's finger and was likewise too shocked to speak. Entering the storehouse was kind of a shudder. And there, everyone there now understood why Ken had been able to find words like to describe what he saw. On the shoulder was which was completely filthy from being exposed to wind and rain for so long. Flashed on it. Something that looked like a strange dark red liquid. Mucus? And made with some sticky paint. Some kind of ghastly substance had been used to draw an indescribably eerie shape. Rain had caused it to drip down in several places like fresh blood leaking from an open wound. There's no longer any point in being choosy with words. The ghastly dark red substance is meant to look like blood, and used to draw some kind of figure or mark. Intended to suggest something ominous. Two concrete circles were drawn there, and inside them was a design that looked like a cross. The four ends of the cross were wildly exaggerated and looked like some kind of crest from somewhere around Europe. And the cracks between these shapes, being closely packed together, were some unfamiliar characters. Or possibly symbols.
What
a vulgar bit of graffiti! This be one of those magic circles used in demonic rituals? For the reference to the ghastly shape drawn with a deep red dripping substance, Hideyoshi's comparison was not unreasonable. When was this drawn? Last night, I came here before it started raining, but there was nothing drawn at that time there. Must do something for anyone who sees this. The late eyes one who gives them great discomfort. That's right. No, just a shadow, I don't want to leave an unpleasant scribble untouched for even 1 second. There's some paint inside the storehouse. This paint over temporarily is an emergency measure. And repaint again someday when the weather is good. Kenji remembered that he had just recently seen another piece of graffiti and that it too had been made with strange dark gray summons of the same color as this. That must have been, that's right, he had seen on the door of Natsui's room. Let's remove this graffiti quickly and return, alright? Even though it's just a storehouse, it's really irritating to have graffiti around the home I was brought up in. Yes, I will take care of it immediately. Cannon squatted in front of the shutter and unlocked it. He then lifted it up with all his strength. Oh no. A boisterous noise resounded. The eerie shape drawn on the shutter began to get sucked in through the top as the shutter was raised. They started being the anonymous thing disappeared from their direct gaze, and they all breathed a sigh of relief. Back to the kids. Thanks to the kids program that had come across, Maria was feeling much better. Val and Jessica are making fun of the kids program and every turn, cackling. George was enjoying the program along with Maria. Andrew sat on a sofa by himself, passing the time by reading quietly. They heard hurried footsteps coming from the hallway. They were the footsteps from a single person. Does that mean I was in the group before that just left? Genji was the one who had returned. It was very rare for Genji, considered being out of breath, a violation of his servant's virtues. To be gasping for air. He'd probably come dashing back from outside the mansion. The soldiers were soaking wet and he didn't have his usual smart appearance. When Genji noticed Nanjo looking at him, he gave a small, silent bow and quickly approached him.
Nanjo-sensei.
Dr. Nanjo, my apologies. Please, come with me quickly. What happened? As Genji whispered something to Nanjo's ears, Nanjo's face changed color. He stood from the sofa, trying not to be noticed by children who were still engrossed in the TV. And the two of them rapidly left the parlor, muffling their footsteps. As they were leaving the parlor, they came across Natsui, who was pushing a serving cart loaded with a tea set. Genji whispers something in Natsui's ear, and Natsui's face too changed color, shocked. Then, leaving the serving cart where it was, the three of them started dashing towards the entrance. Oh fuck, this is getting even worse. George noticed them running down the rose garden through the window. What's this?
Genji-san
and Dr. Nanjo, and that's Natsui, isn't it?
どうしたんだよ、兄貴。
What's up, Aniki?
何かあったのかな。
Maybe something has happened.
ひどい慌てようだったね。
They looked horribly flustered. Jessica and Maria also realized that something had happened from the fact that Eva, Hideyoshi, and Nanjo were no longer in their seats. And because the serving cart had been abandoned at the entrance of the parlor.
何か事故でも
Could they
あ
have
った
been
のか？
some kind of accident?
行ってみようぜ。
Let's go check it out.
俺たちだけのけ者なんて面白くねえしな。
No fun if we're the only ones left out, right? For some reason, what Balor said sounded extremely indiscreet. He couldn't deny that they were a little insecure. He started now seeing the adults run off into the rain disregarding their appearance.
行ってみようぜ。
Let's check it out, alright?
何があったか気になるぜ。
I need to know what happened. This isn't your words spoke for all of them.
おい、マリア。
Hey, Maria,
お
you
前
got
も
me
来る
too?
か？それともテレビを見てるか？
Or will you watch TV?
おお。マリアはテ
I
レ
want
ビがいい。
TV!
おお。
Ooh!
Hey, Maria, don't meet Beatrice again while you're alone. That would be very bad for all of us.
僕たちだけで行こ
The rest of us will go by
う。
ourselves.
マリアちゃん、
Maria-chan,
す
we'll
ぐ
be
に
back
戻る
soon.
からね。テレビを見て待ってるんだよ。
Maria-chan, we'll be back soon. Stay here watching TV.
Ooh!
By the time the kids went outside, they had lost sight of the adults who had left earlier. It looked like Jessica had a pretty good idea where they had gone from the direction they had been running. Following Jessica, they ran through this rain-soaked rose garden. It felt like the wind suddenly got stronger. Amidst the sound of thunder began to ring out like it had the previous night. It felt like something eerie surrounded the island and was trying to stop them from moving forward.
ジェシカ、この先には何があるんだ？
Jessica, what's over this way?
確か
I'm pretty sure there's a store outside guarding tools or something.
そんなところに一体
Why in
何
the
があ
world
る
could
ん
be
だ
there
ろう
in a
ね。
place like that? Just as Jessica had said, the storehouse came into view in front of them. You can also see the adults there. The shutter to the storehouse was open, and several adults looked as though they were searching for something. For some reason, only Nashi was outside the storehouse, not even holding an umbrella. She was facing away from them and looked like she was hanging her head. The ones who had just left, Genji, Nanjo, and Natsui, the ones who had left before them, Kanon, Eva, and Hideyoshi, made this a large gathering of people, but there was absolutely no bustle of activity. When Natsui realized that she hadn't come, a terrible expression rose to her face and she ran at them with her arms spread wide. Don't come over here! Go back to the mansion! However, no. Because of that, the kids saw the scene which Natsui was trying to keep them away from. Inside the storehouse where the shutter wide open, a flaring fluorescent light showed down. And over there... Golden Slaughter! Jessica's piercing shriek rang out. That was just because Jessica's scream was the loudest. The same thing spelled out of Balor and George's mouth as well. Eva, just like Natsui, spread her arms and with a terrible expression roared at the kids. George, take everyone and return to the mansion! Quickly! Right now! When Natsui had spread her arms, one might have thought she was trying to prevent them from advancing any further. However, right now, that wasn't why Eva was spreading her arms. She was trying to hide the terrible scene from the kids. It was her mother's heart trying to protect eyes and hearts of us kids by the time we lock our view of that terrible scene by at least the width of one of her arms. Is this some kind of joke? Is it? Yeah, I've seen this kind of cheap scene all too often. In manga, TV, anime, movies, I've seen it over and over again. I was just seeing something appear in real life that I had seen plenty of times before in some more sensational movies. Wasn't it? That one shouldn't... but that suit, it's those bastards, isn't it? I get it. Then that's Uncle Krause's and Kairi-san and Nazi Bro. Oh! Dad! Dad! He wasn't Jessica! He wasn't go in! He wasn't look! Dad! Dad! Ah! Rigor mortis is in across the entire body. Probably 6 hours passed since death. Tossing double looking at the damaged area. This is high probably they were damaged after their death. No, let's watch what I say. A general practitioner examine courses outside my area of expertise. Now, what does that mean? Just killing them was enough? They went on to do something like this? The devil! This is the work of the devil! Aunt Nazi caught Jessica in her arms, and Aunt Eva caught George on a key. I was the only one who could approach the entrance to the storehouse. Ah, I think there's someone here to catch me too. But I need to have this horrible evil scene burned into my eyes. No, that's not it. I'm standing here not because the people who would catch me aren't here, but because the people who would catch me are right there. As I said, it did look like Sarah used to keep gardening tools. A lawnmower and its replacement blades, a drastic one and a hammer, a saw and some construction tools, potted plants and bags of fertilizer. And treated just the same, the corpses of people have been laid to rest there. No, have been thrown in there. I can tell by their clothes. That old bastard and Kairi-san, Uncle Krause and Auntie Rosa. Further back, go to and... There's still more of them? How many people died? Fucking hell, I can't even count them on one hand. God fucking damn it! You know, whether it had been one of those guarding tools, which if used for something other than their intended purpose, could definitely ruin their naked brutality. Whether some horrible tool had been brought in here specifically for this. Whatever the case, while I was lying about here, each one of them had been given an atrocious makeover. This isn't a damn makeover, this is more like their faces have been plowed. Their faces were smashed, forced into expression that a normal person couldn't make even after death. I couldn't tell whether their eyes or their nose were, but I could find their mouth because it was gaping wide, ribs with teeth exposed. Her teeth were missing, and the cheek that would have covered them was all torn open and exposed. This tires me that he spent way too much time fussing over for a guy is no help at all. Dad! Sure, I thought you were going to hell! But you weren't this bad, right? You weren't such a son of a bitch to have this done to you! And Kairi-san, why did you stop going out with this guy? There's no reason! You go through this as well. There's no face! There's no fucking face! Shit, 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 shit! Butler-san, you mustn't look anymore! Don't wait, your mother and father would want you to see them like this. Your mother and your father's sake, you mustn't look anymore! Have you ever seen that face that looks like they're sleeping peacefully, aren't they? There's no face! My dad and Kairi-san have no faces! I don't even know what kind of face they were wearing when they died! What the hell am I meant to do? You tell me I have to see this mangled monstrous faces every time I remember Dad and the rest? Oh, that's perfect! Because I didn't even want to remember that old bastard smug face anyway! This is perfect! Perfect! You know, my Kyrie's face says, well, Harry-san wasn't a bastard. I sometimes got a little sick for, but oh, cool, it's like a big sister to me. She didn't deserve this. She didn't deserve this. This Uncle Kraus is better, isn't he? And so face just aside. At least it's after this fucking face slap. Better that than this, better that than this! Trying to shut out my reckless words, so I was gonna try to fill her ears with the sound of her own screaming. Stop it, Battler-kun! Just stop it! Just stop it! Aniki! Disregarding age and appearance, I fell to my knees, clinging to Aniki's waist and sobbing. As if I was crying on behalf of everyone there. Representing the feelings of everyone there, I screamed over and over. Father, the ones who are lying over there are Uncle Kraus, Uncle Rudolph, Uncle Kyrie, Uncle Auntie Rosa, Koda-san. 5 people? No. 6. There's one more here. The body that Hideyoshi was looking down on was in the shadow of a mountain of random objects. The blind spotted George, who stood by the entrance. George can tell whose body it was. Therefore, George cursed himself. Cursed that part of himself that imagined the worst. Is always right. So, the one lying at your feet is Shannon, isn't it? Oh. Yes. It's Shannon. George was completely silent. He shook slightly, his lower lip trembling. He wanted to run up to his beloved, screaming and crying. But, before rashly running up to her, he mustered all of his strength and asked his father. Is Shannon also the same as Uncle Kraus and the others? Hideyoshi deeply understood the meaning of those words, so he couldn't give George a quick answer. No, he thought that to George right now, that was only possible with sincere and loving response. George asked whether she was the same. He had meant to ask whether her corpse was the same as the others. Since Hideyoshi hadn't denied it, he knew that the body was just as horrible. Can I look at Shannon? No. Can't. Why? After all, I won't be able to see Shannon's face again, right? So why can't I see her last face? Last time you met Shannon was yesterday? Yes. I see. You left her. What kind of face was she showing you? It was a wonderful smile. Ever seen the ring? She was bewildered even though her heart should have been decided. Bashful, so embarrassed to show him that face that she ran away. The expression was revived in George's mind. I see. I'm sure Shannon-chan would also wish to leave you with that smile. Hideyoshi looked down upon Shen's body at his feet. Just like the other bodies, it was such in a horrible state that would make anyone want to cover their eyes. Half of the face had been smashed off, and no more than half of her expression remained. If that remaining half, soaked with red blood, had been wiped clean, that graceful smiling face might have been peeked out. Only half of it. Without thinking, Hideyoshi slapped his hand over his eyes. How cruel. If only all of it had been crushed, if they were going to crush it, then he might have been able to deceive George's heart for a while by saying that it was just someone else wearing Shen's clothes. Yet they had left half of the face. Caused the body needed so much humiliation. Also made clear that this body was none other than Shannon. How inhuman. How monstrous. There at his feet, trying his best to burn the image of the remaining half of Shannon's expression into his eyes, was Cannon. Cannon was not crying. Tears rose into his eyes, but they did not drip down. That didn't mean that he wasn't feeling as much sadness as everyone else. Leaving Shannon, who had lived in the gospel house, whom he had loved as a sister, must have been just as the same as losing a blood relative.
George?
I'm sure Shannon-chan would be grateful. Wouldn't want to see you like this. I'm sure she would thank you for staying strong.
I understand. I understand, Father. I understand.
George leaned against the outside wall of the storehouse, singing down powerlessly.
Father, I have a request.
What is it?
I want you to look for me on Shannon's finger. Is there a ring?
A ring? Let me see. Oh, I didn't expect to get a picture even slightly detailed. Oh shit. Hideyoshi crouched down. As he did, Cannon silently pointed to one of Shannon's hands. Yeah, there it is. It's a diamond ring. Not a chip diamond. Must have been pretty expensive.
And which hand? Which finger is it on?
Ring finger of her left hand. I see. So Shan-chan was engaged.
George, you couldn't have.
Eva? Right now that doesn't matter. A man made a lifelong promise to Shannon-chan. Man promised her happiness for life. Doesn't matter who it was. Told that by a man. It's a woman's dream, isn't it? I don't know when she received this ring. I also don't know who gave it to her. But, and so Shan-chan took this ring. And she accepted it and put it on her left ring finger. So the man who gave it to her was happy too. To most of the people there, Hideyoshi was simply disturbed by this extraordinary situation. It was blurring out strange things. But to those who knew the truth about George and Shannon's relationship, everything he said made sense.
そっか。
I see.
ありがとう、父さん。
Thank you.
George stood up. Traces of tears still streaked his face, but his expression had returned to its usual calm.
行こ
Let's
う。バトラー
go.
君、ジェシカちゃん。
Alakun, Jessica-chan.
これ以上、僕たちがここにいると、大人の
If we
邪魔
stay
にな
here
る。
any longer, we'll get in the way of the adults.
そうだな。
You're right.
Jessica sniffed once, trying to say that she was alright. She showed her face to her mother, who had been holding her the whole time. When he faced George again, once again had her on her usual face. Though she still couldn't recover her smile.
バトラ
A battler.
ー、しっかり。
Don't lose heart.
Ballard kept on crouching in front of his parents' bodies.
すまねえな。
I'm sorry.
がっつり泣いたら落ち着いたぜ。
Trying to calm me down.
親父の野郎。
Bastard dad.
普段はクソクソ言ってる
And
く
you're
せ
laughing at me, always talking shit about you.
ちょっと死んじまったくらいで
Riley,
ビ
maybe
ビ
just
泣く
because
ん
you
じゃねえ
died.
ぜって笑ってやがれ。
It's not my
仕方ねえ
fault.
だろ。親が死んだら
Why
泣
did
くよ
your
うに
genes cry when our parents die?
遺伝子すり込まれちまってんだからよ。
Ballard's face was still bright red from the tears, but even though it was forced, he had at least recovered enough to fake a smile.
カノン、
Hannon,
お前もこれ以
you
上
must remain here any longer either.
子供たちを連れて
Take the children and
お
return to
屋
the
敷に戻
mansion.
っていなさい。
Natsuki, unable to take a step into the storehouse, had been standing under the rain the whole time. Maybe she had her own way of grieving, different from battlers. She realized that she had to take on a sense of responsibility now that her husband was dead. So she gave Hannon those orders.
はい、
Yes,
奥様。
madame. Hannon rose silently and turned to face them. His face was pure white, almost as though his heart had died along with Shannon. There was no life in his expression. If, during the course of one more day, he had been instructed to do a tour of the beautiful rose garden, Cannon may have led the way for them. But now, there's no distinction between Cannon and the children. They're now just kids about the same age, with the wounds of having lost someone close to them. After seeing the children go back, Natsuki gave orders to Genji.
現地
Genji? Contact the police immediately. What? You can't. The phone lines are dead.
台風が通り過
Probably
ぎ
won't
る
be
まで
able
は来
to
られ
get
ない
come
でし
until
ょ
the
う。
typhoon passes.
どう
They
す
should
れ
be able to
ば
tell us what to do next.
指示を与えてくれるは
They
ず
should
で
be
す
able to tell us what to do next.
わかりました。
Understood.
防災用の無線
There's
機があ
emergency
り
radio,
ま
so
す
use that to contact them. Oh!
それで連絡します。
When she heard that, Natsuki remembered. That's right, the telephones were out today, weren't they? However, since it had been assumed that there would be trouble with the phones on this island, a radio had been installed. Anyway, let's contact the police and seek their instructions. Everything else can wait.
ナチョ先生、
Dr. Nanjo,
この場
is there anything further you can do here?
どうしようもありませんか。
残念ながら
Unfortunately,
私には
I
何も
cannot
でき
do
ません。
anything.
わかりました。
Understood.
エンジ、
Genji, at least cover their faces with something.
何かで覆ってやることはできませんか。このような姿を晒すことは当人にとっても屈辱的でしょうから。
Something like this is humiliating to them as well.
はい。
Damn it, woman, I'm a doctor, not a necromancer. Shit. Yes. He picked up several towers hanging inside the stores when Eva stopped him in a shrill voice.
ちょっとちょっと、
Wait a second.
お待ちなさい
Stop!
よ。ここは犯行
This is
現
the
場
scene
な
of
ん
the
でしょ。
crime, isn't it?
なら変に手を
And we
加えちゃ
can't
ダメ
disturb
よ。
it.
私たちは
In our
混乱
confusion, we
して
tracked
て現場に土石
Life
流
over
踏
to
み
all
入
the
っちゃった
scene.
けど、
So that will cause
それ
trouble
は
with
き
the
っと
police
警察の
investigation.
捜査の邪魔になったわよ。
Natsui glared at Eva testily. Objectively speaking, Eva was right. Even so, she glared at Eva as though accusing her of refusing to do those tragic corpses, which had been humiliated even after death, with some kindness in covering their faces. However, Eva had spoken both calmly and correctly. Jarbo's state was definitely not an accident. It was a crime. Someone had killed them. It was a murder case. In that case, you should be careful not to disturb the site. They had to aid the police as much as possible, so they'd hand over the clue that could be used to find the detestable culprit. I agree with it. Eva-san. The police come, we should leave everything be. What do you say, madame? You're right. Understood. Close it up. And just in case, we should put a different lock on it. A different lock? Yes. When we came here, the shutter was locked. That means the culprit used the key to the shutter to lock it. That makes sense. Does that mean the key which opens the shutter will have the killer's fingerprints? I'm sure it will be worthwhile submitted to the police as evidence. But Canon-chan handed it just as normal and used it to open this door. He'll probably also have his fingerprints on it. Also, that key was handed Genji just now, who took it with his bare hands. It doesn't look like it will be very useful as evidence. That was careless of me. My apologies. Genji-san, there are other keys to the storehouse? No, only this one. We can count the walk out of the servant room with that key. And then consciously return the key to where they found it, right? Hidashi's theory sound plausible, but it was actually very strange as he thought about it. Why would they go to a lot of trouble returning the key they stole? Now we think about it even more deeply, there are some even more bizarre points. Usually when a criminal hides a body, they're trying to delay the point at which it will be found and use that time to escape. The actual place where the six was killed wasn't necessarily here, but they had to have been killed somewhere on this island. It would be normal to think that the reason they had been carried to the source was to hide the bodies and they discovered the crime. That graffiti drawn on the shutter that looked like an eerie magical circle can eloquently indicate the corpses were hidden here. It didn't specifically say that they were here, after 6 people had gone missing. Making such an obvious scribble and even returning the key to open it. It seemed as though someone had wanted the corpses to be discovered here. In any case, a lock that the killer has opened once before would not be sufficiently trustworthy on its own. We want to protect the place from the killers, and I think we should put on new locks. I think that's a good plan. I agree. Genji fished around inside the storehouse and unsealed a brand new padlock, which had been inside a small box. What will you have me do with the key? I will take it. I will take responsibility and hand over to the police. Nachi took the key to the padlock from Genji's hand. After that, they all exited and lowered the shutter. Because of that, the corpses were once again sealed behind that shutter, covered with that gruesome magic circle. Genji crouched down in front of the shutter, fastening the new padlock. In addition to the main lock on the shutter, there's sometimes a place where you can attach your own lock in front of it. That was one of those types. In the midst of the roar of thunder and the pouring rain, the storehouse stood there ominously. Once its closed shutter was the magic circle, drawn in creepy blood-like substance, that drawing up the bodies of 6 people. Nachi, putting the new lock on, may not have been entirely to preserve the scene for the police. But rather, she may have felt that she wanted to shut that mouth for all eternity. prevent any more victims being swallowed by that eerie demon.
さ
Come on,
あ行きましょう
let's go, everyone.
皆さん
Dr. Nanjo, thank you very much.
源氏は急いで警察に連絡を
Kenji, quickly contact the police.
戻りましたら
I'll go to them as soon as I
すぐ
return.
に連絡します。
Goats left the storehouse. Still swallowing the 6 bodies loomed eerily, occasionally lit up by the lightning. Don't fucking do this to me, game. All I could be heard was the sound of rain, the voice of the kids' television program that Maria was watching, and the engrossed Maria's cackling voice. In other words, I'll greet them as they returned, dumbfounded them from that horrible, bizarre scene. It was when Maria, she rode around laughing at the television. Not knowing how to explain to Maria that her mother, Rosa, was dead, those who returned to the room couldn't imagine any more than a suffocating silence. At first, Maria returned to the stairs with a dubious look. When she realized they weren't trying to blame her for anything, she ignored them and again immersed herself in the television program. The children wordlessly sat down on the sofa. Their minds were probably blank from their state of shock. Though they had all cried and mourned so much, now they just fatally sat there, their faces expressionless. Only Ken returned to his usual calm expression. However, that probably didn't mean he had been able to wipe out the shock. Nothing could struck his eyes as he stared into the emptiness. Hiyashi, fidgeting as he remembered that horrible scene, kept muttering. Unbelievable. That can't be something of this world. It's the work of the devil. Every once in a while, he turned these into questions and bounced them off Nanjo. Nanjo, in a calm, doctory manner, kept repeating that nothing could be understood by only glancing at the scene. And that until the police arrived, he wouldn't know anything. However, Nanjo only appeared calm by comparison to Hideyoshi, who could not contain his agitation and fear. In fact, Nanjo had also received a huge shock. His face was deathly pale. It was because of their attitude that Natsuki tried to rise to the challenge and take control. Natsuki was apparently unchanged from her normal attitude. They briskly gave instructions. I will head to where father is. Genji, quickly contact the police.
かしこまりました。
Certainly.
私も一緒させ
I
てい
wonder
た
if you would
だ
allow
いて
me
い
to
いか
tag
しら
along
夏日姉
Natsuki
さん
Ned-chan?
クラウス兄さんがいな
Miss
くなった
Krauss
以上
Nissan is
お父様の補佐は私の仕事だものその私が夏日姉さんに任せっきりで
But improper for me to
こ
relax
こ
here
で
while
くつろいで
relying
いるわけに
entirely
は
on
いかない
you.
わ
I hope you're just coping by being a bitch. Natsuki struck speech by Eva's aggressive actions in a situation like this. It seemed that she was claiming that, with Kraus dead, the one to take responsibility should not be his wife. For herself, the next highly ranked in the family. While she was not happy that Natsuki was ignoring her and handling matters herself in this extreme situation. Of course, even Eva's mind had been blank from the shock until now. She only turned herself after Natsuki started giving orders. You'd be
お
upset
好
here.
きになさるといいでしょう
May do as you please. Natsuki walked out without saying anything more. Eva followed behind her. Moments after they left, Kumasawa ran into the parlor. Since she wasn't the kind of person to run around, it would normally sense something that happened, since everyone had been triggered by the earlier shock. None of them took any notice of this trio difference.
Madame!
夏日姉さん
No
な
longer
ら
Natsuki,
お父さんのと
Nissan.
ころ
Going
へ
to
来
see
た
father.
ですぐ戻って
He'll
く
probably
る
be
やろ
back soon.
どないしたんや
What happened, Kumasawa-san?
それが
In the dining hall.
食堂に
Blood!
血が
Everyone in the parlor turned to listen. Everyone thought the same thing. I hope I misheard that. It's like how any container has a limit to how much you can put in it. No one felt like they could accept any more tragedies beyond what had already happened. So they all thought. I hope I misheard that.
何やって
What?
食
朝食
The
の
dining
準
hall?
備に
I went to the dining hall.
食堂に
Set
配
for
膳に行った
breakfast.
ら
The first to start running was George. Dart's footsteps jogged Hideyoshi and Nanjo to the senses and they chased after him. Battle and the others followed. They flew in the dining hall one after another. They didn't find any changes that would have caused Kumasawa to go pale. Those who had viewed the gruesome scene in the trial was a bit of an anticlimax. However, Kumasawa who followed them pointed it out. There really were some traces on the floor. Maybe that terrible scene was not very dramatic. However, when we thought about it, this definitely indicated the loss of a lot of blood.
ここにも血だまりがあるよ。
There's a puddle of blood here as well.
これは一体
What in the world?
だいぶ時間が経っているように。
Here's a great deal of time has passed.
おそらく昨夜
Probably safe to say that they were killed here last night.
殺されたんだと見ていいでしょう。そういうこと
It
に
would
なる
seem to mean that
わしらは昨
we've been talking together in the dining hall until late
話し合いをしとった。
into the night.
そしてここに
Now that someone must have broken in.
何者かが押し入ったに違いない。
父さんたちが打ち合わせを抜けて休んだ
Father,
のは
when did you
何時だ
let
っけ？
yourselves out of the meeting and go to sleep?
昨夜の
Well, past
25
midnight.
時を少し過ぎたくらいの頃や。だから
Oh,
その後に
sometime after
と
that.
考えるんが
Probably when it
どう
happened.
やろうな。
マジかよ。
Christ.
勘弁してくれよ。
Take this.
お嬢様、しっかり。
My lady, stay strong. uh,
俺はも
being that hell on earth in the
う
storehouse,
さっきの
he can handle
こ
this
の地獄
much.
ってやつを拝んじまったから今さらこのくらいじゃ答えねえぜ。
そうかよ。
Really? Great for you.
私は
I feel
頭
my
が
head's gonna
どうにか
freaking
なっちまいそうです。
explode.
ここは食堂
This
だ
is the
ぜ。
dining hall, you know?
私は毎日ここで食事をして。
This is where every day I would eat, clean up, school, complain about homework.
親父に
Forgot about my
成績
grades.
の話をされたり、そういうとこ
That's
ろ
what
なん
this
です。
place is to me.
お嬢様、
My lady,
これ以上
wouldn't be good to remain
こ
here
こ
any
にいるの
longer.
はよくありません。客間へ戻りましょう。
Let's return to the parlor.
俺の同感さ。
I agree.
秀吉おじさん、
Uncle Hideyoshi,
この部屋は多
I
分
think this room we really reported to the
警察にと
police.
って重要。俺たちが
You
嫌
think
な
we
し
would badly travel all over
ま
it?
ずいんじゃないですか。
Ballard rose this in a slightly powerful voice. As to the other Ken, he grabbed the pale and shaking Jessica's shoulders.
バトラさんの言う通りですな。
Everything is as Ballard-san just said.
この部屋にこれ以上
Telling Ward
続け
he
ること
came to
はありませ
remain
ん。
with you. Unjo spoke while looking at the pale faces all around. Even though the harbor scene in the storehouse had felt like something not happening of this world, Lisa was in a place far from here, a place I'd been able to cut themselves off and run away from, which had helped everyone keep on going. However, the dining hall was different. It was the mansion's main ring. As Ezra said, it was supposed to be one of the more relaxing places within the mansion. It was the same place where all the relatives had enjoyed lunch and dinner yesterday. The shock of seeing this place smeared with blood reminded us of that horrible spectacle in the storehouse. Forced us to accept that we really hadn't been able to run away from that scene of the tragedy. Yeah.
わしも同感や。
Yeah, I agree too.
この部屋には犯人の痕跡が残ってるかもわからんし
The killer may have left traces in his room.
素人のわしらが
Hunters like us shouldn't stir the place
ちゃう
up.
で。はよ出るんや。
Let's think quickly.
はよはよ。
Let's think quick. Come on, come on. Hideyoshi also understood the meaning of what Ballard said and pushed everyone to hurry out of the dining hall. The way we were then, looking at that blood any longer would have been too harsh. Nobody went against his words. Everyone raced against everyone raced each other out of the dining hall. Almost as though the last person in the room would be trapped in there all alone. Once in the hallway, we on a shoulder to Kumasawa, who was leaning against the wall, so trembling. We all headed back to the parlor together. Then, Genji returned.
おお、源氏さん。
Ow! Oh, Genji-san.
警察に連絡はつきましたか。
We need to contact the police.
それが
I only offer my
申し訳
sincerest
ございません。
apologies.
無線機の故障か。そ
There was a
以外
failure
の
of the radio or
原因
something
を
else that caused it. I cannot tell, but
なんや警察に連絡がつ
can't
か
even
ん
reach
の
the
か
police.
電話も無線も
Tried
ど
the
っちも
phone, the
ダメ
radio
なんか
both failed. How the fuck did the radio fail?
申し訳ございません。
My apologies.
月曜の
I'll
朝
be arriving on
船
Monday
が
morning
来
and
る
believe we'll be able to borrow the
ことになります
communications equipment.
その船の通信機を借りることができると思います。
この島には船はない
Isn't
ん
there a boat
か
on this island?
新島の警
Can
察
we just
署
take
ま
a
で
little trip
こ
out
っ
to
から行
the
ってくることは
Nijam?
できんのか
Nijim Police Department?
秀吉さん。
Your son, that would be impossible this
無
weather.
理だ。少なくとも台風が通り過ぎるまではどうにもなりません。
At least we can't do it. Anything that typhoon passes.
クラウス様のボートは今修理中で島にございません。
There's someone's boat is being repaired and it's not on the
ですの
island.
で月曜の船を待つほかないかと。
Therefore, I'm afraid we have no option but to wait for Monday's death. I mean, Monday's boat. Sorry, not death. That's not
そんな
happening.
アホな話が
No.
あるか
How could this happen?
6人も死んだん
Six
やで
people are dead.
そして電話
The
も
phone's
無線
radio
も
working.
通じ
There's
ず
no boat.
船もない台風が過ぎて船
Until
が
the
来る
typhoon
ま
passes,
で
the boat comes
つまり明日の朝まで
till tomorrow
わしら
morning.
は警察
You
に
have
も
to stay
連
on the
絡
side
でき
and but to
ず
contact
こ
the
の島に
police.
おれっちゅうことなんか
ってことはつまり
Which means that
俺たちだけじゃなく
not just us.
おじさんたちを
We're
殺
gonna
し
kill
た
everyone is also confined to this island.
この島から出られず明日
そういうことになるね。
That surely follows.
みんなを殺した犯人はまだこの島
How
に
about
い
who
る。
killed everyone is still on this island?
So the bastard who killed Dad and the others can't get off the island, and he's still hiding
この
somewhere?
島から逃げ出せずまだ潜んでやがるってことかよ
Everyone, you're on this. Everyone, we're sleeping on second floor, single rooms. Everyone, individual keys. Nothing fucking else. Okay, you got it? That's what we're doing.
Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it!
見つけ出してやるぜ
Find you, you bastard! You think I'll hand you over to the police?
私がこの手で
I'll tell you to strike myself!
Here, I finally realized that something was odd in the parlor. Rather than noticing something odd, it was probably better to say that she felt unhappy and anxious and everyone was so excited about something only she didn't know about.
Ew!
ジェシカお姉
Jessica
ちゃん
Oni-chan!
誰か死んじゃったの
Did someone die?
The way she spoke was completely calm, as though she was talking about characters in TV drama, as though it didn't affect her at all. Jessica probably didn't like that. As though trying to say, oh, just by looking at me, overwhelmed with grief, she flared up against Maria.
死んじまったぜ
They all died!
みんな
Everyone! Everyone!
私の親父も
My dad,
僕
father,
らの父さんと
mother,
母
and
さんも
father!
幸田さんもシャノン
Daughter, son, and Shannon!
そしてマリ
And
ア
your
の母さん
mother,
も
too!
よすんだジェシカちゃん。
Stop it, Jessica-chan!
悲しいのは
You're
君だ
the
けじゃ
one,
ない
only。one who's sad!
マリアさん、
Maria, son?
ショックだろうが、
Others are coming shocked. Please, listen.
あなたのお母さ
Your
ん
mother
死んで
has
しまいました。
died.
ママが死んじゃった
Oh! Mama is dead?
うーん
Mm,
ああ
Yes,
誰かに
someone
殺されちゃ
killed
っ
her.
た悲しいだろうがよ
No, it's sad, but stay strong.
心をしっかり
何人
how
死んじゃ
many
った
people died?
6人だぜ
6 people!
6人だ
6! Shit!
あんな残酷なことしやがって
You do something so cruel!
踊ってもんがあ
You
る
know
だ
how cruel
ろう
it
が
can be
よ
if you're a
人
human!
間ならよ
誰だか知らねえが
I don't know who it is, but a killer's not human.
血の色が赤いわけがね
I know who it is, but killer's not. There's no way their blood is red.
うん。
Ooh,
犯人は人間じゃない。
killer's not human.
鍵が選んだ。
Just the
生贄なだけ。
chosen by the. Huh?
Wait.
Hey,
Maria.
Maria?
今、
Did you say something just now?
Maria just said something. Since his words were so remotely separated from the flow and context of the conversation, second, I couldn't understand them. I was about to ask her to repeat it, shocked by the sudden sound of Aunt Natsui's loud voice coming from the entrance to the parlor. I looked at it. It looked like Aunt Natsui and Aunt Eva had returned from the trip to see grandfather.
無線でも連絡できない
You can't contact them with the radio.
こんな時に使えなくて
If we can't use it at a
何
time
の
like
ための防
this,
災無線ですか
Oh,
why do we even have an emergency radio?
申し訳ございません。
My apologies.
毎年
Lego was having annual
保守点検はさせているはずなのですが。
ほら光をチカチカさ
What?
せるみたいな
What
船
about one
舶
of those
信号っ
boat
てある
singing
じゃない
devices where you can flicker the light on and off?
そういうので向こう
Can you
の
use that-
島に連絡す
something
る
like
こ
that
とはできないの
to contact the
か
next
し
island?
ら
そのような説
We do
明
not
は
have
ご
such
ざいません。
equipment.
申し訳
My
ございませ
apologies.
ん。
Just then, Kumasawa came pushing a serving cart loaded with breakfast. There was no way we would be eating in the dining hall. Hideyoshi had ordered her to bring it to the parlor.
なぜ朝食をこち
Why
ら
are
に
we eating breakfast here?
ああ、夏井さん。それ
Natsui-san?
は後で話す。
I'll tell you later.
それよりエヴァ、
More importantly,
お
Eva,
父さんはどうなん
how
や
was father?
ご一緒でないところを見
Really,
ると
motherfucker, he's not with you. You want to leave his room for a situation like this.
部屋から出ませんか。
いないわ
He isn't there.
部屋は空っぽだったのよ
なんやって
Assuming Grandpa's delusions aren't delusions, he probably simply wanted a worst case scenario like this. He seemed pretty chill about everyone dying a little while ago. I mean, he literally was like, Beatrice, come! Let's play Devil's Roulette! 6 people die? Ha! I won! What the?
こんな時に
Where could he
ど
run
こ
on
行
time
ったん
like
や
this?
親方様が
You say that master has left
書
his
斎
study.
を出られたというのですかそうです
That's right. I'm as surprised as all of you.
いつの間に部屋を出た
I
の
wonder when he left his room.
あなたたちに心当たりはないのですか
Either of you have any idea?
Natsuki looked at Genji and Kanon as she said this. I thought the servant sprinted the one-winged eagle who served right under him would know a place he might go. However, it seemed to be the other way around. The face made it clear that those who knew Kenzo best realized even more than anyone else how impossible it was for him to leave his room.
僕たちにも
Even we have no
見
idea.
当がつきません
ご存知の通
As you all know, the master had everything set up within that study, from a place to sleep to a bathroom.
おやすみ親方様が
I can't imagine leaving the room
お出になる
except
こと
under very exceptional
よっ
circumstances.
ぽどのことがない限りかん
となると
In that case,
なんや
what?
そのよっぽ
The
どの
natural thing
こと
that
が
one
あ
of
ったっ
those
て考え
very
る
exceptional
のは
circumstances came up.
自然だっちゅうことになるんか
まだそうと決まった
We
わけ
still
で
don't
は
know
ありま
whether
せ
that
ん
is the case.
とにかく気
In
ま
a
ぐ
way,
れ
he's
な
a
こと
figure
です
person, it's probably impossible. He went
現状を
walked
ご
by
存知
himself
な
without knowing the
お一
current
人で散歩を
situation.
されている可能性もあります仮にそうだとしたら一刻も早く現状をお知らせしてご指示を仰がねばなりません
If that's the case, we have to tell him what has happened, ask for instructions as fast as we can.
そうね
That's right.
考えたく
I
はない
don't
けど
want to think about it. It's
お
possible
父様
something
の
has
身
happened
に
to
何か
him.
あったのかもしれないしねそのような不吉な
I
こ
don't
と
even
は
want
考
to think
え
about
たく
something
もあ
that
りません
ominous.
No one had seen Kinto since the 6 horrible corpses had been found. On top of that, the phones were broken, the radio couldn't reach anyone, and there was no way to contact the police. Until then, no one could rely on anyone outside the island, nor could they escape. It looked like the typhoon would leave tomorrow and a boat would come. But until then, no one could rely on anyone outside the island, nor could they escape the island. Everyone had lost their composure at the extremely sudden tragedy. Heavy silence and a sense of impatience. Even though they needed to do something, they couldn't think of anything. Some of them became irritated, while others merely held their heads in their hands. But not one of them could explain what was happening on this island Rokenjima.